Good morning. It is Monday, April the 3rd, 2023. I'm Pearson Bowen. This is the CBC Morning Report. 90% of disabled people in Barbados are unemployed, and this is being seen primarily as a result of educational disadvantages for that section of our population. Chairman of the Advisory Committee for Improving the Lives of People with Disabilities, Member of Parliament Edmund Hinkson, says the proposed national policy document on creating a more inclusive society will be addressing that imbalance, and that proposed bill will be finalized, debated and hopefully activated this year. He was speaking last evening on The People's Business, which dealt with issues facing the disabled community.
We have had legislation for over 60 years stating that education should be free at the point of delivery for all children between ages 4 and now 16. But practically speaking, education is not free for many children with disabilities because their parents have to pay for them at special schools. Employment.
Okay.
90% of adult persons with disabilities in Barbados do not have a job, are not employed, or are not self-employed. And that stems naturally from the disadvantages children with disabilities have in terms of our education. And let's look at health, primary area. People with disabilities have tremendous difficulty in terms of the accessing healthcare and the cost of some healthcare.
Okay.
Accessibility is another area, housing. So the legislation speaks to all of these issues.
President of the Barbados Council for the Disabled, Carrie-Ann Eiffel, says there are other issues that need more focus. This includes psychological and emotional abuse of the disabled.
And that is being told you're nothing, you're worth nothing. Even the subtle ones that say, no, I'll do this for you because you will never be able to do this for yourself. That is abuse as well, and a lot of people don't realize that. And then, of course, there's the economic and financial abuse, where persons hold on to your benefits and they see you as a cash cow because, you know, your disability is really an impediment to this household. We don't have enough money here because of you. You big hardback man can't go there and work. So I have the right to take your welfare and your other benefits because, you know, you don't know how to spend the money. You never learn how to do this. So I got to do it for you. And that is financial and economic abuse. And all of those things have been ongoing. The legislation and the policy speak to implementing a commission that will oversee rights, the discussions on the rights and the applications of the fines, and the legislation speaks to that because these things have been going on in our country. A lot of us shut our eyes to it and don't think it's necessary to discuss, but it's not because, you know, it's normal, you know, it's not normal.
And contributor to the draft bill, Professor Dwayne Devonish, added that the effort towards inclusivity needs to go beyond the law and reach into the communities.
There's a large articulation of having a community awareness building program across at-risk communities in which persons with disabilities reside. In fact, we're also looking at setting up community surveillance systems, similar to what we've proposed for the national policy for aging to protect persons who are aging from elder abuse. We want those same systems to be operational to protect persons with disabilities in those communities. So it really rests on the agency of a community member or neighbor to report wrongdoing or to, you know, to allow for that investigation to take place and for justice to be served.
Coming up on the CBC Morning Report, Fintech aiming to make moves in Barbados.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC Newsnight at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special?
The fintech space in Barbados still has some ways to go, but if they jump ahead instead of playing catch-up, it will be where it needs to be. One of the issues with getting immersed into space is the issue of trust, because a number of people believe that fintech and cryptocurrencies are inextricably linked, but the two are far different. Founder of Global Integrated Fintech Solutions, Dave Shahadath, in an interview with CBC News, says people confuse the two.
Whenever they hear, the term fintech, one of the first questions that, we automatically are asked are, do you do Bitcoin? Are you involved in crypto? Questions of that nature. So I just, I always like to make a distinction that fintech is so much more than that. As a matter of fact, one of the most simple definitions for fintech as it relates to financial institutions, it is any technical process that makes the life of the customer easier, right? So, over the years, we have things like online banking and being able to make direct transfers from, one's computer, etc. Those are all examples of, fintech type solutions. So it is not zeroed in or pigeonhole into that space. I guess it is the space that has received most attention. So this is why, a lot of people tend to make that association.
The fintech specialist who works all over the world says the technology is moving so rapidly that it is actually outpacing legislation. And it's not just unique to Barbados, because on a monthly basis, solutions are coming, sometimes daily, but the legislative support is not there.
Having said that, I believe, obviously for many reasons, the banks, are getting there, and have started, embracing. I've seen, many of the banks there in Barbados making steps to introducing various types of services, to their customers. And I guess at some point in time, the credit unions will be following suit. I've seen one or two initiatives attempted, but of course, from years ago, we would have suggested that perhaps there were some other things that had to be looked at before being able to actually fully embrace. We had to look not only at the processes, but even in terms of the base stack of technologies of which they currently operate on, so that they can build upon.
Well, seniors do have some trust issues with the fintech space, and when news of hacking surfaces, people get scared. He assures that steps are being taken to deal with it, but in some instances, the cost of protection may be an issue.
You would find your more established institutions being able to, develop, certain security protocols and having the requisite personnel on board to do that. The more vulnerable would be those, smaller to medium-sized institutions where they might not have the wherewithal to have and deploy those types of resources.
Well-known Russian military blogger Vladimir Tatarsky has been killed in a blast in a cafe in St. Petersburg. Tatarsky is the pen name for Maxim Fomin, who had accumulated more than 560,000 followers on Instagram, Telegram, and was one of the most prominent of the influential military bloggers who have provided an often critical running commentary on Russia's war in Ukraine.
This was the moment security cameras captured the attack at the busy street food bar No. 1 cafe in the heart of St. Petersburg on Sunday. The explosion killed 40-year-old military blogger Vladimir Tatarsky, who was delivering a speech at the event organized by the Cyberfront Z movement, an association of people with patriotic views. They hold talks at this cafe every week. Over 100 people were in and around this event at the time of the attack. The Donbass native was given this statue of himself as a gift moments before the blast. According to the mayor of St. Petersburg, all the city's emergency services have been called in to deal with the incident. Vladimir Tatarsky launched his own social media channel to report on the activities of the Russian military in its so-called special military operation and has a following of over 500,000 subscribers. Tatarsky was invited to the lavish ceremony last September at the Kremlin, where Russian president proclaimed the annexation of 4 regions of Ukraine. Tatarsky was a well-known figure among Kremlin supporters. Seen here with Daria Dugina, who was killed in a car bomb attack last August in Moscow region. Her father, Alexander Dugin, a far-right political philosopher and Kremlin supporter, was believed to be the intended target.
The Russian Foreign Ministry has issued a statement condemning the attack and praising Tatarsky's work as a journalist and his service to his country. These types of attacks are rare in Russia, but the planning and plotting behind them just prove that the battles are not confined to the Donbass region.
Well, coming up in 17 minutes when you join me for Morning Barbados, we've heard the song Bring Back the Old Time Days, now Bring Back the Old Time Ways. That's an initiative of a particular organization. They'll join us this morning to tell us which ways and why we should bring back those old time ways. This morning as well, we'll meet winners of the recently concluded Vauxhall Soca Rising Stars competition. It's now done and dusted. Who are the winners? We'll meet them this morning. And also today, a national youth footballer needs your help for a life-saving drug. We'll tell you who it is and we'll tell you how you can help raise the funds to purchase that drug for this young man. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more straight ahead at 6:30 on Morning Barbados. We'll take a break here. We're coming back with the morning report in just a moment.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Matchback Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for a new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
An almost steady flow of viral videos and photos of accidents on this island's roads is prompting a word of concern and caution from local insurance executives. Chief Executive Officer of Cooperators General Insurance and immediate past director of the General Insurance Association of Barbados, Anton Lovell, says there is growing concern about the patience of some drivers as well as the speed at which some people are traveling, resulting in sometimes serious accidents. Speaking with CBC News, he says a lack of patience has been observed as a contributing factor in some cases. He also believes it will be necessary for the insurance industry to work more closely with the Road Safety Association to do more education of good driving habits and for other road users.
What we are witnessing now are persons driving at too high speed and a lot of careless accidents, people taking too many chances. Not being patient at junctions. Again, when you look left, look right, look left again. Although people see vehicles coming on the main road a short distance away, people lacking patience and are coming out in front of these vehicles, causing accidents. Going into roundabouts, again, no patience again. People going in the roundabouts when people coming to your right. So that's what we have been seeing. A lot of impatient drivers.
Mr. Lovell adds that another key factor relates to distracted driving, as many drivers are getting into accidents while using their mobile devices. He says the number of people still using their phones while driving is a major concern, especially since it has been against the law for several years.
Every 2 out of 5 drivers on the road you see using their cell phones, and blatantly so. I mean, I don't have any regard for the law and the police. And again, that too, you're seeing a lot happening. And invariably, what happens is people run in the back of vehicles because of this. So though the accidents are not major in terms of the impact, you can see they are distracted along long stretch of roads with a number of vehicles. You're wondering how come the vehicle ran in the back of another. And that's simply because persons are distracted, and perhaps the cell phone is the main cause of that.
Government is working swiftly to address the need for additional parking in the Spitstown area. However, it is hoped that members of the private sector can get on board with efforts to have a localized shuttle-type service established as well. Thus, according to Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Transport, Works and Water Resources, Santia Bradshaw, who has acknowledged that the issue of parking still has to be tackled in a more comprehensive way following recent changes to the traffic flow in the northern town.
It is clear that parking is a challenge. There are people who are accommodating each other because they have spaces within their buildings. It is an issue that MTW faces in relation to trying to determine where we can create additional parking spaces. But the truth of the matter is we need to obviously maybe have a system where people can park their vehicles in the car park with the BTI car park, and then have a city circle bus that is able to make its way through the Spitstown area, pick up people, drop off people, pick up the tourists, drop them back, you know. So that's something definitely that is on the cards for the coming financial year.
Businessman Ian Griffith of Earl's Funeral Home is hopeful that discussions can take place to help solve the parking situation by involving property owners in Spitstown whose properties have not been in active use for some time.
We have a number of businesses in Spitstown, or buildings in Spitstown, that are not doing anything. Parking is a problem. Yes, the BTI parking is there, but the average Bajan sometimes don't want to travel or walk from one distance to the other. But we got to realize that if we can work with some of these business places in Spitstown and probably have some of these buildings that we have that are not in use, somewhat understand, but look, this building can make use, and that would help alleviate some of the parking problems we in Spitstown.
St. Lucia has reaffirmed its commitment to maintaining diplomatic relations with Taiwan days after Honduras severed ties with the island in favor of China. That decision has left Taiwan with only 13 diplomatic allies. We hear more from HTS.
The Republic of China Taiwan has for decades been sidestepping the maneuverings of mainland China in the political battle for its global acceptance as a free and independent nation. But the mainland's insistence on the One China policy, which views Taiwan as belonging to China, has heightened tensions. China has been flexing its economic muscle to squeeze Taiwan out of its allies as a means of isolating the nation. In 2016, Taiwan had formal ties with 22 states, but as Chinese pressure built up, the country is now only left with 13 allies after Honduras broke off its decades-old relations on March 25, 2023. The Honduran government said establishing ties with China could bring investments of up to $10 billion into Honduras to benefit workers. The Foreign Ministry also announced that Honduran students with scholarships in Taiwan would be able to transfer their studies to China. Weighing in on the matter, St. Lucia's External Affairs Minister Alva Baptiste says the Pierre administration does not auction foreign policy and establishes diplomatic relations based on mutual trust and respect that lends to creating a framework for matching the basic needs of the country with greater possibilities.
We have a cooperation arrangement with Taiwan to really feed our development agenda, and it is working. Right now, we are making some structural changes to the economy. We are developing the way forward to move to a new level so that we can deliver better services to the people of this country. Based on that improved framework, we will be expecting greater responsiveness from our allies.
In Bermuda, dozens of residents have signed a petition to revoke newly tabled legislation which proposes that government fees to register a holiday rental. They believe the move will hurt seniors who use vacation rentals to cover high living costs. Bermuda Broadcasting reports.
Senior Eugenie Simmons Vidal says the new legislation proposing registration fees could harm Bermuda seniors. She also believes the complexity in the cost may stop many from hosting on Airbnb, reducing the number of beds available to visitors.
They also have to understand that many of these seniors have been abused by tenants, so practically elder abuse as far as I'm concerned, and they're frightened of the market because the laws did not adequately protect landlords. It does add among complexity because at the end of the day, people have to now wonder if they're going to be able to get sufficient bookings to pass it on without inflating each booking that they have by $100.
The Somerset resident's one-bedroom rental helps her to cover property utility and maintenance costs and provide a place for visiting friends and family to stay. She enjoys the flexibility and financial security of renting on Airbnb.
It impacts other people. I guess this one woman has been crying on my phone every night because she just has a one little bedroom in her house, and all of a sudden she's got to pay $2,500 a year annually, plus the 4.5%, plus her land tax, which has gone up tremendously.
MPs recently passed legislation requiring properties with a rental value of $22,800 or lower to pay $1,500 for an annual certificate, while higher value residences will pay up to $2,500. Airbnb collects 4.5% in vacation tax from guests booking a Bermuda trip, forwarding the cash to the government. Mrs. Simmons Vidal says Bermuda now has less appeal to price-sensitive travelers.
Students from schools in the Bahamas held a media conference with officials from the Department of Social Services to mark the start of Child Protection Month.
The press conference was held under the theme One Nation Uniting to Protect Our Children, hosted by officials from the Department of Social Services in conjunction with the National Child Protection Council. 11-year-old Nyla Simonette gave heartfelt remarks, speaking to the responsibility of both adults and children in the protection of our nation's most vulnerable.
We should be allowed to focus on being children. We should be loved and cared for. We should be allowed to laugh and play. We should be able to focus on school and get good grades. We should be happy and carefree. It should not hurt to be a child. We should not be exposed to physical and verbal abuse from anyone, most especially not from the people in our lives who should be, and I quote, teaching us well, letting us lead the way, and showing us all the beauty we possess inside.
The panel featured students from St. Augustine's College, Galilee College, the Bahamas Association for the Physically Disabled, A.F. Adderley Junior High School, and Queen's College.
I thought it was important because people need to understand the issues that are happening as it relates to child abuse, as you got to see how the children felt and you got to understand their perspectives.
I got relief about it because there are a lot of children out there, they're lost, they're abused, they're hurt, so me getting a chance to express myself to them, I got a good kick out of it.
I feel great about it because we are all children and we all should be respected, and so I'm happy that children were able to speak today.
Well, this mode of transportation isn't used on Barbados roads as yet, but in France, electronic scooters are causing quite a stir. That's such a consideration to ban them.
Younes Yanat is a big fan of Paris's electric scooters. He says he hires one most days to get around the city.
E-scooters are really useful because Paris is so busy, especially in rush hour. It's impossible to move around, so thanks to these we can use the cycle lanes. It's much better than a car.
E-scooters were introduced in France in 2018. Since then, they've become part of the landscape in most cities. But some people say they're a nuisance, cluttering pavements and endangering pedestrians. Now the French government's launched a new plan to regulate them. Riders will have to be at least 14 years old, and there'll be tougher penalties for misuse.
Two people on an e-scooter is forbidden today, but the fine is only €35, so it'll be raised to €135. The message is that dangerous behaviour will be penalised.
Dedicated parking zones and lower speed limits are already in place.
While the French government is stepping up its regulation of electric scooters, here in Paris, the City Hall is asking people to vote on whether or not to ban them.
The three companies that provide Paris's e-scooters say a ban would make no sense in a city that's often led the way in promoting low-carbon alternatives to cars and motorbikes.
We very hope indeed that the vote will be positive and that Parisians people will continue to welcome scooters in a safe and sustainable way in the city.
Opinion on the streets, though, is divided.
I can see they offer an alternative form of transport, but at the same time they can be dangerous for pedestrians, the elderly.
I think they've not been around long enough to just scrap them. We need more research on things like dangers, mortality, and perhaps we need better infrastructure for them.
It'll be up to Paris's mayor to make the final decision on whether it's really the end of the road for e-scooters in the city.
In sports now, local surfer Josh Burke reached the final of the Barbados Surf Pro QS 5000 event at the Super Bowl in Bathsheba yesterday. But he lost to American Crosby Colapinto in that final. Burke laid down a superb performance in the semis with a tally of 14.50. But then in the final, his two best waves totaled 13.84, compared with Colapinto's 16.07, which took home $25,000 and the trophy. Here are some highlights.
Here we go. Burke is going to be up and riding on this one. Here we go. Joshua Burke from Barbados going straight up in the lip, out onto the open face.
Big
rapid cut back. Joshua Burke working his way out onto the north section. He's going to smash this one, lays it down. Joshua Burke! Let him hear it.
Love the claim. He said, I'm holding it down. He drops in on this one. First carve right in the pocket, but look how this wave lines up.
That's the north section. He just
that was one of the best turns I've seen the entire event right there. Ripped the lip off that thing as he comes to the inside and just finishes it off with two tags, one right there, and then another one.
Yeah, so we're gonna see where this score comes in.
Yeah.
There we go. Blue is going to hold him off with just 5 seconds remaining, counting this one down in 3, 2, 1. That ends the heat, so Crosby Colapinto takes the victory, becomes the 2023 Barbados Surf Pro champion. Congratulations to Crosby.
Well, in the women's section, Zoe Benedetto defeated Sawyer Lindblad in an All-USA final with a 12.53 compared with 12.37 wave total. Well, that's it for today's edition of the CBC Morning Report. I'm Pearson Bowen. Morning Barbados starts now.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Hi there, everyone. Welcome to today. It's Monday. It's a brand new week. It's also a brand new month. It's the 3rd of April, 2023. I'm Pearson Bowen, welcoming all of you wherever you are. Thank you so much for waking up to keep us company. For those of you watching us on our streams, thank you so much. Continue to interact with yourselves and with us as well. Now, coming up today, breaking up is tough, but making up is hard to do. And certainly when our relationship coach joins us this morning, we want to hear how to smoothly make our way through that transition as well when we fall in love yet again with the same person with who we broke up, or we start after some time being out of the dating game. We'll talk about that straight ahead on relationship with our relationship coach. The power of the little mind is captured in a series called Today I Am. The author of those books will join us this morning as we explore what exactly it is that they're seeking to do and how the children can benefit from reading the pages of that book. There's also the winners today. That's right. The recently concluded Vauxhall Soca Rising Stars competition is over, and so the winners are joining us today. Who won in the Calypso category and who won in the Soca category, we will get to talk about today. Bring Back the Old Time Ways. That's an initiative of an organization, and we'll talk to them a little bit about what old time ways you're talking about, and certainly how we can bring them back and for what reason would we want to bring back the old time ways. We'll talk about that straight ahead as well this morning. But let's get started this morning by talking a little bit about a young man who left here to travel to play the sport he loves and now who needs your help. Let's welcome this morning Natasha Howell. She is the mother of Deshawn Howell. Good morning to you, Natasha. Help us, speak a little louder, help us understand what happened to your son.
Well, my son was practicing one day, and he came home and told me, Mom, I seem to have felt a muscle or something like that, feel a bit uncomfortable. I told him, well, you haven't played in 2 years, being COVID and everything, you got to make sure you warm up, warm down, stretch, you know, because I was an athlete too, so I know the ropes. So he is seeming that the pain just kept going and just getting worse, you know. So we took him to different doctors, clinic, hospital, back to the clinic. All they managed to do was give him pain medication all the time. We even take him as much as an osteopath, you know. And she was saying that this was out of place. You know, she had a lump on the time to put it back into place and so on and so forth, but clearly we didn't know what was going on. So he was like, Mommy, the pain just not going away. Right. You know, and he had a friend who was in Georgia, and he was like, well, you know, the lady said, well, for him to rest until January, but football had not started, you know that he's in love with that sport. So there's no way for him to like see and hear his friends getting out there on the field and he just keep getting depressed because he can't play. So he took a trip to Georgia and he was down there he went down on a Sunday. It was okay the Monday, and by the Tuesday he had a fever that was so high and wasn't feeling well. Pain was just intense. And they took him to, they called it Uber. He went to the emergency room, they admitted him straight away. So he was at, unfortunately I can't remember that first hospital. And they took him there, he was there for 2 or 3 weeks. They did biopsy after biopsy, nothing. Didn't find what was wrong with Deshawn. When they realized it was a little bit too much for them to handle, they sent him to a bigger, which is MBR hospital. And in there now, he continued, and they was trying to treat Deshawn. You know, some of the nurses were amazing. Deshawn loves Skittles, so they were, you know, just trying to keep his spirits up, and you know, so everything wasn't that bad.
Right. I'll tell you what, you just hold a second, because this is a story I don't want anybody to miss at all. We'll take a break right here. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Max Pack Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for our new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
Hi, I am Jaheem Thomas, one of the team leaders of Project SOF. Project SOF is a very transformational program for youth who are now going into secondary school. It helps them with their team building, effective communication, decision making, and also raise awareness of drug use. For me, Project SOF definitely impacted my life, especially as a team leader. Dealing with children every day, it was for me to honestly wonder, am I making the right decisions when I approach these children? And not only that, but are they developing as well and taking in information that they're being taught? Project SOF also benefits those children, as I mentioned earlier. But one of the major things I have seen, especially from children coming out of Project SOF, is the impact that it has made on them even after the program. Recently, I went to one of these schools where I saw some of these students. And when they came to me, the effect, the impact that I got, because they said, Uncle Jaheem, you know, and to see that that relationship still sticks with them, to see that they still remember everything, because they were like, Uncle Jaheem, you come in and watch me, you come in and watch me run, that is important. And I believe that it is in those moments that it really helped us not only sustain, but safeguard our future today.
This Easter, CBC is having an Easter bonnet decorating competition where anybody...
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Deshawn Howell is a national youth footballer who needs your help. His mother has been sharing the story a little bit with us, and as far as we got here, Natasha Howell is with us. He's now in Georgia. He's been taken to hospital, and you were where? In Barbados?
I was in Barbados.
And I can't imagine what was going through you when you got the news.
It was rough. It was hard. It was shattering. But through it all, I had a cry behind the scenes, basically.
Yes.
Because whenever I would talk to him, he would say, Mommy, you're crying? I'm like, no, I'm mixing fish get butter and the peppers in my eyes. Yes. Anything, you know, because at one point in time, we was on the phone with the doctors and they were giving us the updates and everything. Because whenever they would call, whenever doctors came and gave us news, Granny would get on the phone, I would get on the phone. Even Auntie that is in Canada sometimes would be on the phone just so that everyone can know what's going on and we'll be able to answer enough questions. So we were abreast of what was going on most of the time, you know, while he was there.
So the day they told you the news of what they found, how did Deshawn take it and how did you take it?
Well, it was heartbreaking. Because to know that I have a 21-year-old who was just last year, year before, and the year before that, up kicking a ball, dealing with his 2-year-old daughter, you know, and being active and alive, and just no seeing him or hearing him, because at one point in time, at this point in time, he's not able to walk.
Oh.
Yeah, Deshawn can't walk. Deshawn is bedridden at this point in time. So it's shattering, though, doesn't matter how you look at it. You know, some of his friends, you know, like, who wants to come and look for him, can't bring themselves.
They can't deal with it. They just can't deal with it. This young, active 21-year-old now just bedridden there. And so he needs our assistance.
Yes.
Because there's a particular drug that can help him.
Yes, please.
Tell me a little bit about that and what it costs to be able to do so.
Well, the truth is, there's so much fancy names for all these medicals.
Yes.
I'm unable to call the name of the medication, which is unfortunate. But it's only available really mostly in the US. You know, you can actually source it probably in China or in the UK. It could cost as much as $200,000. So I mean, it's unfortunate for me to say this, but maybe that's the reason why they had to send Deshawn home. Not only that, he was on their welfare in the US. I mean, he's not American.
Yes, yes.
You know,
they can't maintain it. And so here it is now. You have this huge medical bill for this particular life-saving medication. And how is it going trying to raise that fund?
Well, we are doing, I was unable to set a GoFundMe page. That would really, really help because everyone was like, oh, try to do the Go, but I don't know, and I don't know of anybody who knows. So we're doing flyers, and I actually went to Harris Paint, and they actually give me some buckets. Well, very nice to give me some buckets. So I actually were giving around to family and friends and business places, anyone that would assist in helping us to raise this money to get Deshawn back to Deshawn the way we know him, back on that field, because that's his whole goal. Not only in taking care of his daughter, you know, and being a provider for his family, but to live the life Deshawn knows how God intended him for him to be, because I'm his number one fan. And all I know is Deshawn and a ball from us near high. So for me to see Deshawn as he is right now, you know, I'm his mother, and it's hard.
Because you feel as if you can't do anything to help your little baby.
If I could take that pain away, if I could lay in that bed for him, I would.
That's a mother's pain, I feel it. And so for anyone who wants to make a donation, we look for you, we look for people. How do we
can contact the Cancer Society. You can, actually, he has an account at RBC. So it's actually on our flyer, on all of our flyers also. So as I said, if anyone knows how to set up that GoFundMe page that it can spread all around the world, that we can actually maximize that and raise the funds even quicker, because this is a fight and we have to win.
Yes, we have to win. So look, if we just share that poster on your screen, if you see that poster anywhere, it has all the information you need to know. How to lend your assistance to raise this young man up yet again. Playing football, the sport he loves. And so he needs your assistance right now. There is a life-saving drug that can prolong his life, that can make him a whole lot better. He's gone through all sorts of chemotherapy. He's already been through a lot. And now he needs a lot from you and a lot of you as well. So you give and you give and you give. There's an account at the Royal Bank of Canada in his name.
Yes, please.
The account is in the name of Deshawn Howell, D-I-S-H-O-N Howell. So you go into any branch of the Royal Bank and you say to them, I am here to make a deposit into this account for Deshawn Howell. They will do so.
The Cancer Society also.
Or you can go to the Barbados Cancer Society and make your donation there. Or if you see any of the relatives of Deshawn along with the tin, you can drop in whatever you have. Every little bit counts. You know, we think of the widow's mite and how far that went. And so we can see how far our contributions can go to help this young man. So raise him up again, really and truly, to make him well and whole again. His mother feels the pain, we do too. And so we want to encourage as many of you as possible to pull from your pocket, to pull from your heart, to raise Deshawn up. He went to school at the St. Leonard's Boys, right?
Yes, he did.
Has the school come in to help at all?
Well, his coach that has been in there from day one, Fabian Messiah, he had told us that he would try to get a bucket and collect even $1 or $2 from all, you know, the school. So we appreciate that also.
This is not a joke, folks. This is quite serious, and so we want you to take it as seriously as well. So help Deshawn Howell. Deshawn Howell. Deshawn Howell is his name. You can go to any branch of Royal Bank of Canada and you make your donation into his account, Deshawn Howell. You can call the Barbados Cancer Society and they will guide you through the process of making your donation. If you know how to set up a GoFundMe account, his mother Natasha needs your help. How can they contact you, Natasha?
Well, my telephone number is 840-5022.
That had to fall. That had to fall when it didn't want to fall. Say it again.
840-5022.
840-5022. 840-5022. Call Natasha. Help her set it up as well, the GoFundMe account, so that she can reach out to far more people who would want to help Deshawn rise and play the sport that he actually loves and take care of his family. He's 21 years old. He has a daughter?
Yes, please.
A little girl, and so this little girl needs to grow up in the care and love and company of her father. And we can all do this as caring Barbadians. So don't forget, you can go to the Royal Bank of Canada, Deshawn Howell is the account name, to the Barbados Cancer Society, Deshawn Howell is his name, and you can make your donation into the tins as they move around the island. Wherever you are, do not just walk on by. This is not one of those cases where you dismiss and assume that it's a prank. It is not a prank. This is a need of a life-saving drug to help Deshawn Howell. You know him if you're a past student of the St. Leonard's Boys School. If you live in his area, you know him. And so let's all rally together as a community to help Deshawn Howell. The number for Natasha is 840-5022. 840-5022. You can call her to make arrangements for your donation. You can call her also to assist her with setting up the GoFundMe account for Deshawn. Natasha, I know it's tough for your family at this time. I can see you're a strong woman, and I encourage you to keep the faith, keep the faith, keep the faith. Don't ever lose sight of that. Deshawn needs you to be strong, and I know you know how to do so for your little baby. So keep it up. Keep it up. We wish you well. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Morning Barbados continues in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
This Easter, CBC is having an Easter bonnet decorating competition where anybody, old or young, can participate. All you need is a bonnet.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
11 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock. The dust has settled. The competition is now over. It was a night to remember. That's the finals of the Vauxhall Soca Rising Stars competition on the compound of the school, which is soon to be renamed. So perhaps that was the last time they're going to have it with that name, Vauxhall Soca Rising Stars competition. And so we have the winners. Now we know. So would you like to know? Would you like to know who won? I'd like to know as well. Caroline Holford Sam is the teacher. She's the one who conceived the idea. And those are the two winners right there. Ethan Little E. Edie and Ramaya Majestic Maya Wilson. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right.
Good morning.
Congratulations indeed. So, Caroline, I'll start with you, Miss Teacher. Talk to me. How did it go?
Oh, that night was excellent. It was excellent. I was feeling a little nervous. Of course, I wasn't sure how the turnout would be.
Because of the weather?
Yes, because of the weather, I actually had to order two more tents that day because I was Barbadians and the rain. Right. So when someone came to me and said, Miss Sophie Sam, we need more chairs. I was like, what? More chairs? And when I peeked outside, it was according to the Barbadians' birth.
Nice, nice.
We had a lot of people. I'm very pleased and happy, and I want to thank everyone for coming out and supporting us. It was a really good night to remember.
I am so happy that it truly turned out to be a night to remember, never to be forgotten. And so, Majestic Maya, you won. So Majestic Maya, talk to me a little bit about what you did and what it meant for you to have won the crown.
It was a good experience, experiencing soca this year. I was a little bit nervous, but more excited.
I remember, yeah, you were talking about your nerves, but look at you. You became a winner. Now you are the queen and it was in social commentary you did, right?
No, soca.
You did soca. So talk to me, when you stepped on the stage, the lights came on, they called your name, Majestic Maya, coming to sing Crop Over, and you stood up there, you looked out, you saw all those people out there. Were you scared?
No, please, because I know my family was here to support me.
And so you got out there and you did your thing. So were you completely happy with your performance?
Yes, please.
Sweet. And so at the end of the night, the judges called your name. Were you nervous at first?
Yes, please.
So tell me, how did you calm yourself so that you heard your name and that you stepped forward to receive your crown? How did you handle that? It was tough. It was tough, right?
Yes, please.
I understand. I know how it feels indeed. And so you, little E, oh, there she is. Take a look at yourself.
Like this sand and this sea, something for the family, yeah. If you don't see all the red and wine.
Wow. Majestic Maya, girl, you could dance. And so there you were on the stage, looking absolutely delightful indeed. No doubt you won that competition. How does it feel looking back at your performance now you see it on TV?
It feels good, and I'm so proud of myself.
Oh, we are so very proud of you as well. Congratulations to you. You are now the winner of the soca competition. And so, Lil E, you won the Calypso competition. Talk to me a little bit about how that felt for you.
I felt proud of myself that I won the Calypso category.
And you know, but then again, you're no stranger to this kind of competition. You know how you're a big horse when it comes to this kind of competition. So how did you get yourself psyched up and all ready to perform on Saturday night?
I was looking through a window from my classroom, and I said that it was a big crowd, but just see them as cheers.
You saw them just as cheers? I love that. So the crowd did not faze you at all. You knew you had a task at hand and you set out to do so. So they called your name and you went up to the stage and you took that microphone and you performed your heart out. How was that for you getting up there to perform yet again?
First off, I was trembling when I got on the stage to sing.
But you were able to calm your nerves and get it done, right?
Yeah.
And so when you were finished, you were like, oh, thank God I've finished with that. Now let me just go off stage and wait for it. And so there came the time for the announcement of the winners. And you were standing waiting. How was that for you, waiting to hear whether or not you had won?
I was just scared if it was no or not.
You were just scared. And so they made the announcement and it was Lily had won the Calypso competition. And how did that feel knowing that you'd beat all of them?
I was proud of myself that I won the Calypso competition.
Nice indeed. What was the name of your song?
My Life Story.
My Life Story. Have you seen your performance yet?
Yes, please.
You've actually seen video of it?
Yes, please.
Well, we're going to show it again right now for you to see. So take a look, everybody, at the performance of Lil E, My Life Story.
Every day, from morning straight to evening. Then when I get in trouble, they won't tell me what to do. This is my life ain't up to you. This is my life, I do what I please. This is my life, it is up to me. This is my life, my life, my life. This is my life, full of hardship and misery. So you see, I can do what is best, what is best for me. This is my life, let me be me.
So Lil E, there you are now. You're 11 years old, so you'll be transitioning, no doubt, very soon from your old school, Vauxhall Primary. Are you looking forward to doing the examination coming up?
Yes, please.
All right.
Yeah, I'm
Of course,
studying very hard.
very good, Lily. I love that. Study hard. Whatever you do, you've done your best. Whatever you do. But there it is. You're leaving the school as a champion, Lily, in the Calypso competition. You know how to do this. Are you thinking ever at all of making Calypso a part of your journey through life, that you would want eventually to be a Calypsonian as well?
Yes, please.
Good man. Don't ever change, because you're really good at it. Really good at it. And so, Miss Holford, Sam, here we are. We're at the end of it now. The dust has settled. We have two winners. And as I said at the beginning, the school is going to change its name. So here it is. These are now written in history.
Yes, it is so true. Well, we're going to continue with excellence. So we're going to strive to be even better as Shirley Chisholm Primary School, because she within herself, she's good for excellence. So we will just do our best to
Yes.
continue. Yeah, so it was a good send-off for Vauxhall Primary School.
Indeed so.
I'll be
And so I can imagine you slept all day Sunday, pretty much, to get yourself back
Actually,
together.
the adrenaline, it has not. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I was
okay.
excited. And, I'm happy for the children. They did well. All of them did their best, and that's all we could ask for.
That's all
So
we
the
could
next
ask for.
step is preparing for a junior monarch now. So it's never really settled, but we'll go from there.
You're doing very well. What do you think are lessons learned from this weekend's competition that you would want to take into next year's competition?
Okay. On a personal level, I have learned the production side of things. Before, our competitions would have been much smaller, so like more school based. But for me, I've learned the other side of having a big show, the stress, the challenges, and it's made me a stronger person. I want to get a bigger team, because it has been really hard for our little committee, when something is school based. In saying that, I want to say thank you to Randy Eastman. He really helped so much in guiding. Admiral as well, Lori World. There's so many people I can say thank you to. For the children, I know it has taught them resilience. It has taught them how to be brave. It taught them to fight, even when they're scared. Like little E said that he was trembling, but he still went out there despite the fear, to go there and do his best. He can take that into his exam. He could take that into life. So those are some of the things that I know for sure that we have learned. There's so many other lessons, but to actually share them now,
Yes.
we would need all day. But it is
We certainly here at Mornin Barbados want to congratulate you and your team for pulling it off yet again, the Vauxhall Soca Rising Stars competition, and doing very, very well at it as well. I'm so happy that so many came up to exceed your expectation to support these young people as they develop as young people, and also develop in the art form of Calypso and Soca indeed. And that's because of your efforts. Caroline, Holford, Sam, you have done a good thing. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, and congratulations again to Lil Majestic Maya. She is the Soca Monarch, and the Calypso Monarch, Lil E. Thank you so much, everybody, and congratulations all.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. You're welcome. Have a good day. Have a good day at school, children. We're going to take a break here on Morning Barbados. We're coming back with the news and more in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning.
This Easter, CBC is having an Easter bonnet decorating competition where anybody, old or young, can participate. All you need is a bonnet or a hat for those who don't know, some glitter, some Easter eggs, some flowers, maybe even some chocolate. Take a photo of your finished product and send to Mornin Barbados at cbc.bb or WhatsApp 467-5465 from March the 27th to March the 31st. All entries will be shown on Mornin Barbados and posted to their social media page. The photo with the most likes can win $250.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
In the news now, 90% of disabled people in Barbados are unemployed, and this is being seen primarily as a result of educational disadvantages for that section of our population. Chairman of the Advisory Committee for Improving the Lives of People with Disabilities, Member of Parliament Edmund Hinkson, says the proposed national policy document on creating a more inclusive society will be addressing that imbalance, and that proposed bill will be finalized, debated and hopefully activated this year. He was speaking last evening on the People's Business, which dealt with issues facing the disabled community.
We have had legislation for over 60 years stating that education should be free at the point of delivery for all children between ages 4 and now 16. But practically speaking, education is not free for many children with disabilities because their parents have to pay for them at special schools. Employment. Okay. 90% of adult persons with disabilities in Barbados do not have a job, are not employed, or are not self-employed, and that stems naturally from the disadvantages children with disabilities have in terms of our education. And let's look at health, primary area. People with disabilities have tremendous difficulty in terms of the accessing health care and the cost of some health care.
Okay.
Accessibility is another area, housing. So the legislation speaks to all of these issues.
The fintech space in Barbados still has some way to go, but if they jump ahead instead of playing catch-up, it will be where it needs to be. One of the issues with getting immersed in the space is the issue of trust, because a number of people believe that fintech and cryptocurrencies are inextricably linked, but the two are far different. Founder of Global Integrated Fintech Solutions, Dave Sahadath, in an interview with CBC News, says people confuse the two.
Whenever they hear, the term fintech, one of the first questions that we automatically are asked are, do you do Bitcoin? Are you involved in crypto? Questions of that nature. So I guess I always like to make a distinction that fintech is so much more than that. As a matter of fact, one of the most simple definitions for fintech, as it relates to financial institutions, it is any technical process that makes the life of the customer easier, right? So, over the years, we have things like online banking and being able to make direct transfers from, one's computer, etc. Those are all examples of, fintech type solutions. So it is not zeroed in or pigeonholed into that space. I guess it is the space that has received most attention. So this is why, a lot of people tend to make that association.
An almost steady flow of viral videos and photos of accidents on this island's roads is prompting a word of concern and caution from local insurance executives. Chief Executive Officer of Cooperators General Insurance, Anton Lovell, says there is growing concern about the patience of some drivers as well as the speed at which some people are traveling, resulting in some serious accidents. Speaking with CBC News, he says a lack of patience has been observed as a contributing factor in some cases. He also believes it will be necessary for the insurance industry to work more closely with the Road Safety Association to do more education of good driving habits for drivers and other road users.
what we are witnessing now are persons driving at too high speed and a lot of careless accidents, people taking too many chances, not being patient at junctions. Again, when you look left, look right, look left again. Although people see vehicles coming on the main road a short distance away, people lacking patience and are coming out in front of these vehicles, causing accidents. Going into roundabouts, again, no patience again. People going in the roundabouts when people coming to your right. So that's what we have been seeing. Persons, a lot of impatient drivers.
He adds that another key factor relates to distracted driving, as many drivers are getting into accidents while using their mobile devices. He says the number of people still using their phones while driving is a major concern, especially since it has been against the law for several years.
Every 2 out of 5 drivers on the road you see using their cell phones, and blatantly so. I mean, I don't have any regard for the law and the police. And again, that too, you're seeing a lot happening, and invariably what happens, people run in the back of vehicles because of this. So though the accidents are not major in terms of the impact, you can see they are distracted along a long stretch of roads with a number of vehicles. You're wondering how come the vehicle ran in the back of another, and that's simply because persons are distracted, and perhaps the cell phone is the main cause of that.
Government is working swiftly to address the need for additional parking in the Spitstown area. However, it is hoped that members of the private sector can get on board with efforts to have a localized shuttle-type service established as well. Thus, according to Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of Transport, Works and Water Resources, Santia Bradshaw, who has acknowledged that the issue of parking still has to be tackled in a more comprehensive way following recent changes to the traffic flow in the northern town.
It is clear that parking is a challenge. There are people who are accommodating each other because they have spaces within their buildings. It is an issue that MTW faces in relation to trying to determine where we can create additional parking spaces. But the truth of the matter is we need to obviously maybe have a system where people can park their vehicles in the car park with the BTI car park, and then have a city circle bus that is able to make its way through the Spitstown area, pick up people, drop off people, pick up the tourists, drop them back. So that's something definitely that is on the cards for the coming financial year.
Businessman Ian Griffith of Earl's Funeral Home is hopeful that discussion can take place to help solve the parking situation by involving property owners in Spitstown whose properties have not been in active use for some time.
We have a number of businesses in Spitstown, or buildings in Spitstown, that are not doing anything. Parking is a problem. Yes, the BTI parking is there, but the average Bajan sometimes don't want to travel or walk from one distance to the other. But we got to realize that if we can work with some of these business places in Spitstown and probably have some of these buildings that we have that are not in use, somewhat understand, but look, this building can make use, and that would help alleviate some of the parking problems we have in Spitstown.
Well, that's our news until now. More news coming up at 12 noon in the CBC News Day right here on CBC TV 8. Morning Barbados continues in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
This Easter, CBC is having an Easter bonnet decorating competition where anybody, old or young, can participate. All you need is a bonnet or a hat for those who don't know, some glitter, some Easter eggs, some flowers, maybe even some chocolate. Take a photo of your finished product and send to Mornin Barbados at cbc.pb or WhatsApp 467-5465 from March the 27th to March the 31st. All entries will be shown on Mornin Barbados and posted to their social media page. The photo with the most likes can win $250. Oh yeah, and if you win, you can be featured on their TV morning talk show Mornin Barbados. Sponsored by Super Style Shoe Shop, keeping your steps in style. Skate Life Barbados, Skate Life, Great Life, and Mornin Barbados.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 11 minutes now after 7 o'clock as we turn our attention to Bring Back the Old Time Ways. I know you know the song out of Trinidad, Bring Back them Old Time Days. Well, the old time ways are what we're talking about now. Which old time ways and why do we want to go back to the old time ways? I'm sure a lot of you saying in your head. Well, joining us right now to share a little bit more about this initiative is the director of the Extra Edge himself, Romero Lashley. Mr. Lashley, good morning.
Good morning, an honor to be with you, Pearson.
Thank you so much. It's good to see you yet again too.
Thank you.
Now, we know you as the common interest man, getting people in shape and ready. So what's this Bring Back the Old Time Ways initiative about?
Yes, well, we can use either ways or days actually. You know, popular song in our age group, the Gambler by Kenny Rogers. He talks in the course about you come to hold him, know when to fold him, know what to throw away, and know what to keep. So Bring Back the Old Time Days or Old Time Ways, either one, is about as our societies go through change, you have to know what to let slip, but what not to let slip. Not let the baby go with the bathwater, as so to speak. And we get changes that are pretty good. I don't want to go back to writing letters. I let you WhatsApp. I have an electric car now. I don't want to go back to gasoline. It cost me $4 to drive here this morning. So I don't want to go back to that. But what they want to keep though about the old time ways, and our students, our children are exposed to lots of things, lots of music nowadays. They're on the internet. They're not playing games like these anymore across the table with each other. And when we do things, when we exchange these things for these things, we have to know what we're losing. And and that same song, as a matter of fact, a phrase talks about, I made a living, son, I made a living out of reading people's faces. And knowing whether a fellow has any aces in his hands. And when we go away from this, we lose a lot of reading people's faces. And friend begins to mean a name and click on the screen with a box saying friend, as opposed to friend meaning somebody who have come to know. Somebody who could lend me $5. Somebody I could cry on your shoulder, you could cry on mine. And we can't lose all that, man.
You're quite right.
You can't trail that.
You're quite right. You know what I do so that I don't lose the memory is if I have to use your number, I try to commit it to memory. Rather than just rely on the phone. So I just look for Romero, hit plip, bloop, and it goes through. So if anyone were to ask me what is Romero's number, I haven't a clue because I just clicked as a thing. I try to commit it to memory so I can recall it. But those are some of the old time things. But you're talking about going back to our intrinsic values.
You hit the nail on your head there now.
So help me hammer it home now.
If it is your music. We had songs like I wouldn't trade you for the world. You can invite you back to sing next time. You know, things like that. Where love had a context. Where sex had a context. I'm hearing so much music nowadays about just jugga. Where sex has no context. There's no intimacy, there's no feeling, there's no interest in the personal development of another person. Just how it feels. We can't do that crap all the time, man. On the minibuses, my God of mercy, we get not only sex, but we get sex being discussed in the most vulgar of terms, with devoid of any context of care. And all students are being allowed to drive on those buses exposed to that nonsense day after day. This country has got to be pulled back from that nonsense.
So how do we do that? How do we pull back from the nonsense? And what does this initiative, Bring Back the Old Time Ways, help where that's concerned?
I think there are two good ways to do it. One is to lead by example. And we're having on the 1st of May a day where students of mine, students of anybody in Barbados can come. The students will be engaged in games across the table, any kind of game across the table, where you are interacting person to person. And the parents can go on the 3rd floor and they can have a sumptuous menu. I sat with the cooks yesterday evening. They showed me that they're having, apart from normal Barbadian great stuff like sauce and rice and peas and fish cakes and so on. They're having lobster tails. They're having shrimp. They're having, what is it in there now? Oh Lord of mercy.
They have spare ribs.
They can kill me if they can't remember this thing. Something called escabeche fish.
Oh dear.
Bami. You know, it was told to say this.
Okay, no problem.
And Jamaica ackee and saltfish.
All right.
And those sort of things.
So it's going to be a day where we have all of that. It's a social evening.
It's a social evening.
But at the same time, because we have lost the ability to socialize.
Yes.
And so that's the old-time way that you want us to be able to come back to, where person to person, we can have conversation face to face, body to body almost, and we can get a true sense of community.
Yes.
That's what you're seeking to achieve here.
And parents don't have to worry about where the children gone.
Yeah.
Because they're on the third floor, the children on the first floor.
But we all look out for each other, because that is also a way that we've gone away from, to get back to the point where, you know, your child is also my child. And so I care for your child in the way I would for mine.
That's right.
So that we get back to working again as a community. And that's what this initiative seeks to do.
That's right. And then another way of dealing with this now is to try to put pressure on our leadership. We have a popular phrase that Mia cares. We want to see that translated right down the road in every aspect of it.
Right.
Mia has to got to care for those kids who drive on those minibuses. We understand physical rape, where there's a physical penetration. There's also intellectual rape, where there's the intellectual penetration of our children's minds long before they're ready for it, with vulgarities and a view of sex that is debased and is very animal.
Right.
And Pearson, I'm not passionate about it. I'm going to keep quiet.
But as a society, we can help where that's concerned. We can say, as a society, we do not stand for this.
Yes.
This does not represent who we are.
Exactly.
To use some of those catchphrases as well.
And
so, as a society, we can collectively say we will not accept this in our minibuses and other forms of public transport, especially as it relates to our children who do not have the authority to make those kinds of decisions because they're children. And so that's what you're calling for us to do with this particular event, where we can come together to socialize as people, to say this you know, let's look at ourselves wholesomely.
Yes.
And the values that we want to be able to take forward, that we do not get rid of.
Yes.
And those that we know that we need to rid ourselves of, we do rid ourselves
Exactly.
of. But encompass the more wholesome values of living and life and people.
Yes, yes.
And again, when is it?
It's the 1st of May, that wonderful weekend where you have the good, we have Heroes Day, I think, and then the whole weekend, the Monday is May 1st. So on May 1st, in the evening,
where
we are at Coverley Crescent, Christchurch. It's near to DHL.
Right, okay.
Right, and there's see more information about it in the media, but near to DHL. Once you get to DHL or to the flashing, you're pretty close. And they can also call my number, but we put information about that on the internet and so on and so forth.
So just keep your eyes peeled to the internet to see exactly where.
So put May 1st aside on your calendar.
Yeah.
That evening to be at Coverley Crescent with your kids of all ages, and the parents will have some sumptuous stuff on the roof. And there's a wonderful view there, a 360 view, and the kids downstairs on playing board games and things of that nature.
Good. And perhaps there's a lesson for a lot of us adults as well, because we've allowed ourselves to move away from those things that we like. Talking to people, interacting with people. We become consumed with our mobile devices. And so we no longer are able to have meaningful conversations. We get upset. You know, nobody picks up the phone and calls you anymore, you know. They want to send you a text. They want to send you a voice note. I'm like, just dial 7 numbers and talk to me. Why do I have to sit and wait for you to respond by your typing and your bad English to begin with, you know, for me to get the sense of what you're talking about, when truly you don't even know how to communicate the sense of what you want to say. Right. And so that's what you're seeking to do. Let's get back to the old-time ways of communication, the old-time ways of socialization, the old-time ways of being able to have fun, because the children, no doubt, will be also having some of those fun moments in the games that we used to play.
Yes, yes, and knowing what it is to read feelings, to understand what's a selfish child, what's a helpful child. And you don't know those things by just interacting on a screen. You don't get true friends by just interacting on a screen. You get friends by meeting, reading faces, seeing genuineness versus just a facade and so on and so forth. And well, that's one initiative. They bring back the old time days, but we are not stopping there. The Extra Edge is exploding with new initiatives. And another one we're going to do is something called a program for the gifted child, where our gifted children will be exposed to social awareness, to having to understand that life is not just about being rich, but life is about enriching your society. So they expose them to what great minds have done for Barbados. So a number of things are going to be coming up with the Extra Edge that we think is making a positive contribution at all levels to students in this country as we go forward. Another great one is called Dads for Kids. We have kids
That's for fathers, there, no doubt.
Yeah, right. We have many kids who are raised without a father figure in their home. unfortunately. But they need that influence.
Yeah.
However hard I try, I can't be a mom. However hard mom tries, she can't be a dad.
Father.
And we need to have our kids who don't have a father in the home with that immediate influence to be able to come on Saturday evening, meet with a team of well-selected mentor-type males and go fishing, go learn how to change a car tire, change a light bulb, cut grass, your mom would do it. And so on and so forth, and to help enrich their lives with that maleness, that balance, and so on. So all of the things that are going to be emerging out of our program.
That's right.
Now that I've retired from government teaching, I have time to do all these things now.
No problem. Reorienting self. That's what I'm hearing you to say through these initiatives as well, to getting back to who truly we are. And so on May the 1st, right there at Coverley Crescent, of course, you keep watching your social media. They'll give you further details as to where exactly it is. But it's a wonderful opportunity in the in the afternoon for people, and I say that deliberately because while you're there, I want you to come and meet someone new. You know, don't assume I can only hang with those who I know. Come meet someone new. Practice the skill of meeting someone new and ingracing yourself to them as well. Let the children come and let them learn other ways of coping and cooperating and all of those things that games teach when they play together as a team, how they begin to forgive, sometimes forget that you stepped on my toe. It doesn't matter because the whole purpose of it is far more enriching rather than how we get back at you. That's what he's seeking to do by us getting back to the old-time ways of being wholesome as a society and true as an individual. Romero Lashley, I want to thank you so much for joining us. I wish you well with these initiatives.
A pleasure.
You're bucking the trend, and I wish just stay with it.
Thank you, man. And the Jamaican cooks wouldn't forgive me if I forgot to say that those dishes they're offering, the ackee fish and the other things that they mentioned, Jamaican stuff, will be a pre-taste to us of a Jamaican night that is coming at the same property called the Upper Edge. Once you know the flashing, in the HL, you're going to be coming there pretty often, not just for this initiative, but others to follow.
No problem. Once I got oxtails, I'm good.
That's my partner. I've been in the Caribbean. Stop it. And my part having name oxtails. You remember my boy?
Stop
so,
it.
So the first, people can taste my hands too.
All right,
yes.
All right. Thank you, Romero Lashley. I'm telling you, this is going to be fantastic. I wish you well with all your initiatives.
Thank you.
Morning, Barbados. It's a break here. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
24 minutes now after 7 o'clock. Lisa Henry has written a series called Today I Am. Today I Am is that series by Lisa Henry, but why? Lisa Henry joins us now. Lisa, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm well. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. This series, Today I Am. What happens tomorrow? Don't answer that question. I'm just teasing you. But the point is that today I am for tomorrow as well. Is that am I reading the series correctly?
That's right. So Today I Am has changed so much for even myself because I started off in one field. I started off as a HR officer, and I went into as a videographer, cinematographer in the wedding industry, and today I am an author. So my goal today has changed.
Wow. And so you've made that transition, and so you're helping people, and children in particular, through your life experience as well really recognize, you know what, you can live your best self once you acknowledge who you truly are. But to get to that point calls for a little bit of work on their part as well. So in the series, Today I Am, what are you asking the children to do?
To imagine themselves as anything that they desire to be in terms of an occupation, and to push the limits of where they can see themselves in the future. Because children have big imaginations.
Yes, they do.
I think as parents, sometimes because our imagination has been tapered down, we can tend to, say things that probably, bring them to reality. But in a sense, imagination can carry them further than we can go sometimes. So we want to provide them to thrive and for their desires to be able to flourish.
And you want out of this, I suppose, also for parents and caregivers to allow them the space to dream, to have that imagination take them where they think is possible.
Yeah, I think that as parents, a lot, because you don't want the child to get hurt, which is a very certain thing. Mm-hmm. But sometimes children can know their own limits, and you can give them a little bit of able to use that imagination in a space that is safe, and you never know where that could take them, and be able to provide books and material around them that they can use in so many different ways. Like I could take a block and I will build on this block, and they will take that block, they will use it as transport to go to somewhere else. And you would never think about when that innovation is developing, from as soon as possible. So I know parents who they sit and observe their children at play and they listen. They realize that, oh my gosh, there's so much that I could learn from them, and there's so much epiphanies happening as a new parent as well. Mm-hmm. That you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot that this imagination that I had as a child growing up, and you involve yourself in as environment, and you just release your inhibitions as well. You can even inspire. I was inspired when I was a new parent. Still a new parent, but I was to be, to sit and play with them and think, use the environment around you to be innovative.
And there's so many things we can do. So you've written these series of books, and in it, you've written a series of rhymes and poetry. You've taken the space in the pages of your book to be able to illustrate what's possible, truly. So explain for all of us who are watching this morning, then, when we pick up the book, Today I Am, the series, what it is that we're engaging with. Poetry alone?
So Today I Am, and I have a copy here. Mm-hmm. This is Luna, 2 characters, Luna and Lee. And they go on adventures in their mind, which, transport them out of their living rooms. And they are now a captain, they are a builder, they are an astronaut. And Luna, the lead, she takes the lead. She imagines, wherever she is, but it references also play Caribbean. So for example, today I'm a builder. It references the purple heartwood that grows out of Guyana. There's trees that grow out of Guyana, and like on a page.
Yes. That
references images as well out of familiar places. So I want them to also have an appreciation of not just I'm from Trinidad, but not just areas in Trinidad, but areas in the Caribbean, and have an appreciation of their Caribbean heritage as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so the book is written simply, but it's also graphically illustrated so that you get it. You're not left to wonder what it is, but it also shows the children, not just the girls, Luna, but it also exposes every child, whether male or female, to see what's out there, what's possible. You can be the builder, you can be the astronaut, you can be so many different things. At first I wanted to be a teacher, then I thought, no, that's not for me. Then, as little boys, you want to grow up to be a policeman? No, that's not me. I don't want to deal with guns. But that's not the point. The point is that we all had a chance to use our imagination, and then you see the children live out their imagination because they'll dress up. naturally before you. And then we want to dumb them down when we say, don't do this, don't do that. But your series of books, Today I Am, encourages us, the adults, to step back for just a moment and allow the children to develop themselves and to develop their imagination.
Yeah, I've learned that as a parent, that you don't, and kind of tell them what your agenda is.
Yes.
Allow them to flourish in their environment, and you'll be surprised to see what they come up with. Even in terms of like assisting, and there's subtle messages within the books as well that would allude to, okay, so for example, in the encounters a little issue with the slide that's a little wobbly. So Lee comes over to assist her. And, in Captain, Luna is the one who is assisting, who is, the boat gets a little rough, and Lee is wobbling, and so Luna's rescue. So there are also those subtle messages about assistance and helping one another inside of there that parents can actually use within there. So as teaching and teachable moment when reading with the child. Because this book is for toddlers and babies as well. So you are sitting down and you can point out items, but give the opportunity as a parent to bring across a different message as using your imagination now as a parent.
Yeah.
And this is what you're need to do.
And if as a parent you're finding it difficult to bridge the conversation, here's a book that will help you to bridge the conversation with your child indeed, as you watch them grow, as you watch them develop, as you watch them imagine and live out their imagination. You have a conversation with them. Okay, so fine, you want to be an astronaut. So talk to me a little bit about what you know about being an astronaut. This book helps you to be able to do so. And you hear from the children what their thinking is. Now you can help to guide them to making it possible. And with it being an astronaut, being a captain, being a builder, are those the only three that you've got so far to the Today I Am series?
I have a few more coming out. We are actually in the process of preparing one that, as I mentioned, they are each one of them has subtle discipline in Caribbean. And the next book that I'm working on right now is called, I can give you a little, this is actually the first time I'm seeing it in public. So the next book is going to be called Today I'm a Chef. And I know that Barbados is the capital of the Caribbean. So there's going to be references to Barbados inside of Today I Am a Chef.
Good.
That's what I will share with you.
So folks, you heard it first right here on Morning Barbados. Today I'm a chef, and that's the next in the series of Today I Am indeed. And so as we travel the Caribbean and you allow your children to travel, and the wonderful thing about parents, the wonderful thing about reading books is that your mind takes you places. You really truly travel. If you've never physically traveled before, you can travel through the pages of a book. And so the series Today I Am allows your child the opportunity also to travel through their imagination. And in doing so, later on, they'll have the reality meet the imagination and they'll see how it compares. But nonetheless, this allows your child to develop the brain, the mind, the emotions, the everything. And then you develop a better relationship with your child as well. The series is called Today I Am. I suppose it's available on Amazon, am I right?
It's available on the CaribbeanBaby.com.
Okay.
And you can find me on Instagram, on Caribbean Baby on Instagram, and on Facebook as well.
CaribbeanBaby.com.
Internationally, yes.
Okay.
Caribbean Baby.
Good, I got you, girl. I hope that folks really grab this opportunity now to have this additional tool to assist you with your relationship with your child, with the development of your child. And your child is never too young to begin using their imagination. You see them when they take a piece of cardboard and they create a boat, they create a car, they create something with the smallest little thing in the house. Let them do so. Encourage them to use their imagination through this book, series of books, Today I Am. And look out for soon, Today I Am a Chef. coming soon to CaribbeanBabies.com by Lisa Henry. Thank you so much, Lisa, for joining us this morning. Thank you so much for taking the time to share from your own creativity and your own experiences as well in this series, Today I Am, I Wish You Well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're welcome. We're going to take a break here on Morning Barbados. We're coming but before the show is done today, I'm going to share with you some of those entries that came in for our Easter bonnet competition, because voting has started, folks. So stand by for that and a whole lot more straight ahead. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.ve.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
23 minutes now to go to the hour of 8 o'clock. You know, my crew was laughing at me a moment ago because I said, my girl no boy, my girl no boy. Dr. Denise Charles, good morning.
Good morning, Pearson. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you.
You know, it feels as though you've been away from me for a long time, so we have to start all over again. You get it? You get it?
Well, you know how it is.
Yes. Because today we want to look at the whole question of starting all over again. There are times when people were together, they fell in love, they had a relationship, they broke up, but suddenly they're brought back together. That's one instance. Or starting all over again where you fell out of love, you decided, I am not even going on the dating market for years, and then now you want to step your feet back into it as well. So you're starting all over again. And it could be rough for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So let's deal with the first situation where you were together, you broke up, and somehow you found your way back to each other. How do you start over again?
You know, Pearson, the thing about history is that we never learn from history.
Yes.
Well, if you're going to apply that adage to relationships, we would want to reverse that. We want to learn from our history. We don't want to walk back into a relationship with someone that we were in a relationship with and forget the challenges that we've had or the reason why we broke up in the first place. I think there's nothing perhaps as wonderful as reconnecting after having been apart from each other for a while, whether it be months, whether it be years, whether it be weeks. The whole question of making up and starting off on a new leg, as it were. And, you know, there's a lot of promise in that. There's a lot of potential in that. And that is an excellent place to be. But I think if you have been in a relationship with this individual, you want to do some rumination, you want to do some reflection, and I'm thinking of both of you doing it together, looking at what went wrong, having that conversation. Make sure that when you decide to restart a relationship with someone that you've been in a relationship before, that you're not just doing it because of the feel-good experience. I understand love, I understand the feel-good, you know, the feel-good aspects of it, and yes, that will be a part of it, but you don't just want to make a decision based on those feelings, because there is something or a series of things that caused you to break up. What were those things, and what has changed? Have either of you changed as a result of what you went through before? Have you grown? Do you know the areas in which you have grown? Do you see the need for personal growth in each other still, or for change? Are there things that you're going to do differently this time around? So those are the types of questions that you have to ask yourself if you're restarting a relationship, particularly with someone that you've been in a relationship before, because you don't want to go down the road of making the same mistakes again.
You got that right.
So you want to start on a new foot. You want to start on a new foot as much as possible. But at the same time, you know, there's another adage that says you can never go home again. Because when you go back home after having been away for a while, you have changed, and the fact that you have changed, that changes home for you.
Yes.
So if we apply that to a relationship, yes, you have been together for a while, but the fact that you've been apart will mean that there has been some shift, some change in you, the individual. And when you go back to that relationship, it can never be quite what it was before. So you're not trying to remake what you had in the past. You're now trying to reinvent a new relationship. And I think that is what is critical, really, to the success of a relationship where you're going back with someone you've been before. You have to look at reinvention.
And I think that's where the challenge comes, the reinventing, because you will always have flashbacks of what was. You know, as much as we say, oh, I forgive you, I forgot all about that. That doesn't happen. Someone said your subconscious forevermore. And so how do you put aside, how do you actively really put aside all of those flashing moments so that you can start new again? It's not easy.
Pearson, you have to do things differently. You know, when my husband and I renewed our vows at 30 years of marriage, I remember the pastor who led us in the ceremony. He asked us prior to the actual ceremony what we why we were doing it, and what we wanted to be different about our marriage. And we spoke about the whole question of reinventing our relationship. And I think that once you have made a decision that you want to reinvent the relationship, then you're going to move, what I say, in the opposite. You're going to do things differently to what you were doing before. Because if you're reinventing, you can't go back to being the same way before. So you're going to highlight specific things that you're going to do differently this time around because you're reinventing something. So I think each of the individuals in the relationship, they have to know what they now want from this relationship. It doesn't mean that everything that went before was bad, but it's just that you are now in a new place. You're seeing life differently. You're seeing yourself differently. You're seeing your relationship differently. And as a consequence, you want to put some new systems in place. You want to put some new relationship practices in place. You want to create some new relationship traditions, some new relationship memories, because you are seeing, well, yes, we've wasted some time. You know, we've done some things that were wrong in the past, but no, we know better. We've grown, so we're going to walk on a different path. And it means deliberately. A favorite word of my husband's is being intentional. You want to be intentional. You don't just want your relationship to happen accidentally or ad hoc. You know, you want to be deliberate about the decisions you make about that relationship and where you're going to take it from here.
In other words, folks, it's going to take some time, it's going to take some work to get it done. So don't assume you're able to slide right back in and things pick back up from where they were before. It does not work that way.
It does not work like that. No, it doesn't.
So that's some hard work.
You have to be intentional. You have to plan.
Yes, plan indeed. Now, you've been out of a relationship for, let's say, at least 5 years. For whatever reason, you determined then 5 years ago, I shall not ever again allow another person into my space. But for whatever reason, 5 years hence, you've decided to get back into the dating space. So starting over again, it's almost like becoming a baby, making its first steps.
Learning to walk. Learning to creep first.
Yes.
Learning to creep first before you walk. You know, Pearson, I think I mentioned this in one of our previous interviews when I said, you know, sometimes women say, all men are dogs. I don't want to be married. I don't want a man. You know, you hear women with this a lot. And very often they're responding to having been hurt before. You know, they're responding, they're speaking out of their pain. And when it comes to starting again with someone new, after having been off the market for a while, I think it is critical that you look at yourself. Have you experienced healing as a result of your previous hurt or your previous breakup? Are you still in that space where you're bitter? Have you self-forgiven? Because yes, when a relationship breaks, I think the human reaction is to look at the other person and their faults, what they did wrong, how they hurt you, how they did this wrong, or how they did that wrong. You know, that's human. We look at the other individual a lot. But after having done that and having gotten over, you know, that initial anger and so on, I think when things settle down a bit, we get a little honest with ourselves and we admit, you know, I was a part of this as well. I did make some mistakes. I did do some wrong things. I did say some things I shouldn't have said. I didn't support in the right way, etc. And we have some time to be more introspective and to look at our role in the breakup or our role in the relationship. So sometimes there's need for a lot of self-forgiveness as well. So not only do we have to forgive the individual who hurt us prior, but we have to forgive ourselves. And if we're not in the space to have done that, then we're really not in a space to navigate a new relationship successfully. Doesn't mean that we couldn't get into a new relationship. We could, but will it be successful?
Yeah.
Because if we haven't put the past to rest, if we haven't forgiven ourselves, then it is likely that we're going to enter this new relationship with significant baggage. And that is a recipe for disaster, Pearson. If you get married or you get into a serious committed relationship and you haven't dealt with your emotional issues, you haven't dealt with your past, you haven't dealt with your baggage, then I can guarantee you that it's going to show up at some point, and it will impact this new relationship. So you want to start on a new page, and some of what I've said before applies in this context as well. You want to make sure that the mistakes you made in the past with past relationships, that you don't make them again. So you do want to make that those you want to have those self-reflective moments. But I think a big part of it is forgiveness of yourself, forgiveness of the individual who hurt you prior, and ensuring that as you go into this new relationship, you manage your expectations better. You're realistic. You understand that there's no one human being that is perfect. There's no one human being that can make you happy. You have to be able to be happy all on your own. It's not, we often say my better half. It's not two halves making a whole, two whole people coming together to make one. So you have to look at yourself. Am I a whole person? What are those aspects of myself that I need to keep working on? And this isn't something that we necessarily think about naturally a lot. But I think having gone through issues and having gone through challenges, sometimes that forces us to ask ourselves these kinds of questions. And even if we're not in the space where we're doing it, my advice to you is to get into that space, ask yourself those questions so that you can be better prepared for this new relationship and all that it could bring, because you want it to be successful. And no relationship is going to be perfect. So don't expect, well, yes, I corrected a lot of these things in myself, so therefore this new man or this woman, when we get together, things are going to be dandy, fine and dandy in every single respect. No two people are entirely compatible. There will always be issues, there will always be challenges that you have to navigate, but you hopefully will now have better skills to deal with and to cope with a lot of the challenges that being with someone can bring.
Is it possible for one to be completely healed of whatever the breakup was, 100% ready to start again? Or is it that whatever comes, you have to be able to cope with, and that's the best position to be in?
I don't know if I would say 100% healed. I think you can be healed. The thing about us as human beings is that we're not God. So we forgive, but we don't ever forget. And I don't mean it in a bitter way. Your mind is your mind is a minefield. It's made up of so many memories. You're not going to forget things negative that happen to you, negative things that happen to you. But certainly, if you have forgiven that individual and you've self-forgiven, it will no longer have the power over you that it had previously. So it's not that something is eradicated from your memory. So I think there is that potential for complete healing. But what does that look like? Does that mean that we will never remember the thing that happened, that we will never speak about it again? I don't think so. I think there has to be that freedom in the relationship for you to discuss bad things that happen to you. Even if you've gotten over it. Sometimes you may have gotten over an issue, but something happens and you remember there's a trigger, and you remember a particular thing, and you might think, well, wow, I've forgiven this person, so I should never speak about this again. But if you need to ask a question, if you need to have something clarified for yourself, if you need to delve a little bit into it, that's okay. You're human, and I think we need to give ourselves the grace and the space to be human, not expect that because I have forgiven, it means I can never, ever speak about this again. I don't think that is what forgiveness is. I know that's what some people say. I don't think that's what it is. And particularly if it is with the same person. But even if it's not with that same person and you're with someone new and there is something that you want to discuss with them, there should be that freedom in the relationship to allow you to do so without that person feeling threatened or feeling that you're going south, in this area of your life or you haven't been freed from it.
Dr. Denise Charles, you are so good. I am telling you, you've covered everything I wanted to raise indeed in one fell swoop. You've done it so well indeed. And so for those of you watching who want to connect with Dr. Denise Charles, she's a relationship coach, remind us how to do so.
You can find me on social media. I am on Facebook. My contact information is on Facebook as Denise Charles. I am on LinkedIn I am on Instagram as Dr. Denise Charles. I have my YouTube channel, Living with Dr. Denise Charles. You can find it and you can subscribe whenever I post content. And I post all of these Morning Barbados videos on my channel as well. So you can go back and watch them they're there for posterity.
There you go, folks. Thank you so much as always for joining and talking with us and sharing with us some real insight. When we're starting over again, because we've had a past relationship in which we want to mend, there's some work that has to happen, folks. It's not a case of sliding right back in and picking things back up from where they were left off. And when we're getting back into the dating game after some years out, are you really ready? Take some time to look inside and see whether or not you have healed the things that were hurting before. Thank you so much for talking to us again, Dr. Denise.
Thank you, Pearson. Have a
You're
great
welcome.
day.
And you as well. Dr. Denise Charles, our relationship coach with us this morning. Is it you? And if it is you, I hope that we shared with you something today to help you manage it indeed. We're going to take a break right here. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So 9.5 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock. This is what the Christian church calls Holy Week. Yeah. And so Easter is at the end of this week here now. So we have Good Friday coming up. We have Monday, Thursday. On Thursday, Good Friday, Friday, Easter Saturday, then Easter Sunday, and Easter Monday. So we've asked you these past couple of weeks to create for us what you thought is your best Easter bonnet and to enter our competition for a chance to win $250. Yeah, that's a tidy sum. Trust me, it's a really tidy sum. And so we've asked you to send your entries either by email or by WhatsApp. And you have done so. We asked you to send your entries by as a picture or as a video, and you have done so. And to you all, we say thank you very much. We wish you the best, because what happens now is that all of you get to vote. You get to vote on which one you think is the best of them all. And that winner gets the $250. That winner gets to come on right here to Morning Barbados to have that exchange with us here on Morning Barbados as well. So you want to see? Y'all want to see? I want to see too. So let's take a look, if we can, at some of the entries that have come in. This one, look at that. This one is from Adele Thompson. Adele Thompson, what a lovely, lovely set of work, girl. Is that a reef? Oh, look at that. Adele Thompson, well done. Congratulations to you. This is Acacia Green. Acacia Green. Look at that Easter bunny. Beautiful. Beautiful. I wonder how long it took you to do that, Acacia. Well done, Acacia. Well done indeed. So those are just a couple of the pictures. Now, folks, you get a chance. We're going to post this on our social media. On which social media, Nadia? Is it going to be on the Morning Barbados Facebook page? The Morning Barbados Facebook page, that's where it's going to be. And then you begin to vote. This is Amira Boyce. Look at Amira strutting it. All right. This is too cute. So cute. Too sweet. Amira. Amira Boyce in video form indeed. Well done to all of you who've crafted with Amira. She's even got the outfit to match. Well done indeed. So keep them coming, keep them rolling. Remember, folks, we're going to post these on our social media, Morning Barbados on Facebook, for you to do the voting. This is the creation of Andrea Bascom. Andrea Bascom, well done. A flower garden indeed. This is Antoine Busby. Antoine Busby has crafted this one. Well done, Antoine. Blue base and all sorts of beautiful flowers. Literally fruit. Very delicious looking indeed. But that's the Easter bonnet coming in from Antoine Busby. Ariana Hill. Ariana Hill, hands in the Kimbo. Love it. Well done, Ariana. Well done. I hope you worked on it, Ariana. I hope you did too. But well done to you and your family indeed. Beverly Herwood has sent this one. Oh, Beverly, how thoughtful you are. I wonder how you did this. I'd love to see this in the flesh. But Beverly has decided to put the church in the center of it all. And so Beverly, well done, Beverly Herwood. That, folks, you can get a chance to vote. This is from Charlene Austin. Charlene Austin with her Easter egg. Look at that. The Easter bunny as well. Charlene Austin, well done. That's an Easter bonnet too. All of these going on to our Facebook page, Morning Barbados. Sherry Boyce sent us this one. This is Nautical. This is very interesting. Nautical it is indeed in theme. That's from Sherry Boyce. Remember, go to our Facebook page, Morning Barbados. Cheryl Kippins has sent this one. This too is nautical. Look at the flying fish and the different things under the sea. So this is great as well. This is all Easter bonnet. Well done indeed. Claudette. This is from you, Claudette. You took the hat or the mat. There's a hat or a mat. Just kidding you. But Claudette, well done. This is also going to be on our social media. Cynthia Nurse. So Cynthia, look at this. This is like a wedding cake, you know what I mean? And around it, anyway. Cynthia, thank you so much for your creation and your entry as well. Elliot Belgrave Primary, I love it, the fact that the children at the schools got involved. They've put it all together as well. Again, symbols of who we are as a people, indeed, in this wonderful bonnet presented to us by the Elliot Belgrave Primary School. We've had an entry coming in from the Geriatric Patients Unit as well. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for participating, indeed, the Geriatric Patients Unit and your beautiful creation. This is from Gloria. Gloria who? Anyway, Gloria, thank you so much for sending your beautiful creation as well. These are all going on to our Facebook page, Morning Barbados. Ingrid Gibson Ford has sent us this creation as well. Oh my goodness, you guys are fantastic. Y'all are so good. I'm really pleased. I'm really pleased at the time taken and the interest shown in entering. This is different. This is from Joan and Kalia Harewood. Joan and Kalia Harewood have submitted this one. Look at that. The bunny stands in the middle. This is different indeed. Well done. Thank you to Joan and Kalia Harewood. This is from Jordan Nichols. Jordan Nichols, little piggy went to market. Little piggy said at home. Little piggy had roast beef. Little piggy had none. All right, Jordan. Thank you so much for your creation. Katie Leacock. Katie, well done to you as well. Katie Leacock. All the stuffed toys in there indeed. Katie Leacock's Easter bonnet has been entered. It's going to be on our Facebook page, Morning Barbados on Facebook. Khadija Ferguson, thank you too, Khadija. Well done. Look at the bunny ears. Beautiful indeed. Beautiful, folks. Beautiful indeed. That's from Khadija Ferguson. This is from Laura and Julie. Laura and Julie got together in the kitchen. It looks like right next to the microwave. And they crafted this one. Well done to you, Laura and Julie. Thank you for your submission as well. Margarita Austin Edwards. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Margarita Austin Edwards. Thank you so very much indeed for your hard work and your handiwork as well. Well done. These are all going again, as I keep telling you, on our Facebook page. Michelle Headley. Michelle Headley has submitted this one as well. Michelle, to you too, we say thank you. Well done. Good luck to all of you. The folks will vote. Monica Maxwell. Monica. Nice, Monica. Well done. Thank you for this one, Monica. Thank you so very much indeed. This is coming in from Mrs. Armstrong. Mrs. Armstrong, thank you so much for taking the time to put it all together to send to us your Easter bonnet creation. Look at the two of these. Paola Ferguson. Look at you. Oh, it's a twin. Is it? Well, they've got this submission. Thank you so very much indeed. The two lovely lasses indeed. Raina Hinkson, thank you so much for yours, Raina Hinkson as well. You guys have worked hard and you've worked well. Thank you very, very much indeed. Remember, folks, all of these going on to our Facebook page, Morning Barbados on Facebook. Go like the page if you haven't already done so. Your job is to vote by telling us by your like how many people prefer which one. Now, take a look at this. This is Miss Sweet Ron's herself, Rhonda Hines Graham. She's a fan of Morning Barbados indeed. Rhonda Hines Graham, well done. You took the time and you did it well indeed. Who else do we have submitting this morning? We have some more entries coming in, and let's take a look at this one. This is a contribution by Rose Gooding. Rose Gooding, good morning. Thank you so much for your contribution. The butterfly right there indeed. Well done to her. Roseanne and Malia have also sent in an entry indeed, and so Roseanne, Malia, we want to share with you. And so folks, remember, all of this is on our Facebook page, Morning Barbados on Facebook. You have to vote. You have the whole week to vote. The whole week to vote. Whole week to vote. This is Roxana Malia now. Roxana Malia, thank you so much, Roxana Malia, for your submissions as well. $250 you get a chance to win. You like, folks. This is Shanacia Busby. Miss Busby, good morning. Well done to you as well. Thank you for your creation. Just a couple more to go, folks. Just a couple more. This is Shari Springer's entry. Shari Springer, thank you too for entering our competition here at Morning Barbados. Get onto our Morning Barbados page, folks, and start to like away. And then this one is from Wilma. Where's Fred? Wilma, this is so simple but cute. Wilma, well done. Look at that. The Easter eggs nestled indeed in a bed of green. Well done to all of you. Remember, you have to vote. Go to our Facebook page, Morning Barbados, and start voting. You have the whole week to vote. The ones with the most likes will be the one to win. And so $250 are yours. A break, and we're coming back to wrap it up in just a moment. Oh. Now they tell me. But thank you all so much for keeping us company today. We've had a fantastic today indeed. I hope you did too. My producer has been Nadia Foster, technical director Don Greenwich, assisted by Roel Ford at sound, Michael Sobers, and at master control today, Doreen. I'm Pearson Boyne. For each of them, to all of you, good morning. We'll see you tomorrow.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning Barbados. Good morning, good morning to you. Good morning, morning Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Blessed good morning to one and all. Hope you're hearing loud and clear.